And the last thing we will cover about the user-facing features of Orchard is Audit Trail. Now, this is also something that's useful for websites with many administrators and also useful for legislative reasons, because the Audit Trail feature lets you see everything, see what somebody changed, how somebody changed, when somebody changed something. So every activity in the system that changed some content or configuration. It's in the Audit Trail feature. We can just enable all the features here. And furthermore, there is also a recycle bin feature. That's also part of the Audit Trail module. Let's also enable that. Okay. So without anything else, Audit Trail will be pretty empty, so let's do some stuff. I will now create a student again. That will be Johnny Doe again, but this time a senior one. He's majoring in computer science. Let's also go back and change John Doe's name. Let's call him Jonathan Doe, because that's supposedly the long version of John, I think. Let's publish that now. And finally, let's go back to content and remove something. Well, let's remove Jack Doe, for example. So I'm hitting delete here. So what happened? I changed some content here. I added content, I changed content, I removed content. So Audit Trail will help us see a log of all this activity. So let's go to the Audit Trail menu item here. And you can see that indeed several Audit Trail records were created here. For example, you can see that Johnny Doe Senior was created, the content item, created and published by the admin user on this date. If we go to the details, we can also see, well, we can't see a client IP address, but we can see if the application is deployed. Otherwise, it would be just localhost now. We can also see that here's Jonathan Doe and a new version of it was saved. If we go to its details, we will also see what changed. So here we can see that the title was changed from John Doe to Jonathan Doe. And the modified time was also changed. Obviously. Furthermore, we can see that Jack Doe was removed. And we can just see that it was removed, but we can also restore it. We can restore it from here, or if we go to the recycle bin, you can also see all the removed content items here. So if you go to the content list and filter for students, this is something new by the way, you can filter for all content types here. You see that we don't have Jack here. Let's go to the recycle bin and restore Jack. So what we should see here is that Jack is again here, and that's right. So the Audit Trail feature is very useful if you have multiple administrators. I would say that if you have more than one administrator, definitely enable it. Even if you have just yourself or just one person, it's also useful to do, because there is the recycle bin feature, and if there is some misunderstanding, it's nevertheless good to see what happened to the site's content and configuration. And it's also an auditable log, so it can't be tampered with, but it can't be tampered with from the user's perspective, from the admin. You can tamper with it if you go to the database directly, and that's good, because if an administrator is not completely honest with you, you will be able to find out. So that was it for today. We need to race home due to other obligations. And this also covers up all the user-facing features of Orchard that we wanted to talk about. There is more, and there is a lot more depth to all of these. But we just wanted to give you a basic understanding of everything and a basic overview of all the important features. Again, so you don't reinvent the Spanish facts. And starting with the next occasion, we'll do some hardcore development stuff, starting with theme development. So if you haven't heard of CSS, just read 2 sentences about it, because we will write at least 1 line of CSS, if not 2. The same thing with HTML. We will see how Orchard's layout engine works. And once that is done, and that will be done in 1-2 hours, we will go into the ultimate developer environment and develop a module. We will write C#, we will write ASP.NET MVC components. So if you don't know about the MVC paradigm, also read about it. If you don't know about ASP.NET MVC, it's also highly recommended that you read something about it or watch a tutorial, because we won't discuss all the basic details.